Okay, hey, after a few hours of setting up, to be honest, with organizing what order I'm going to do these in and stuff, I'm finally ready to do this giant, massive video that's going to be super long. I don't know how long it's going to be yet. I haven't shot it yet. You know, you can check at the bottom. But before I start, I should probably let you know that, yes, so I'm going to go through my entire movie collection, which are like 98% DVDs. I've only got a few Blu-rays, which I've gone through in another video before. Maybe I'll just quickly go through them later. They're just there anyway. But yeah, I'm gonna go through all of my movies and I'm gonna do it by genre, but within the genres I've also got them kind of alphabetized. I don't know, I'm sure I made some mistakes. I'm sure there's gonna be some inconsistencies there, but it's mainly alphabetical and all that stuff. There's just so many, and it's like, how hard's the alphabet, right? But when you've got this many, like, things become a mess and there's piles and piles everywhere around me right now, so that's just kind of how it is. And also, when it comes to the genres, it's going to be kind of like, genres are a little bit subjective in a way, like not completely, because obviously when you see a horror movie, it's pretty obvious that it's a horror movie, but you know, sometimes things can be described as thrillers, and there's a bit of a weird middle ground with thrillers where you're not quite sure what counts as a thriller and what counts as a horror. Sometimes there's a bit of discrepancy between genres in that way, so I've kind of kept it as simple as I can in the kind of way that I want to do it. Like, I'm not being really super pedantic about it. Either way, I should probably stop wasting time because this is going to be a long ass video. And if you watch it all, thanks. But if you don't and you want to skip to particular genres, I will put like the timestamp thingos below. You know, if you just want to get to superheroes, which I'm saving for nearly last. So I'm going to start off with comedies. Ooh, comedies. Okay. Hey, just before I let myself get on with the rest of the video, I just wanted to do a little thing here just explaining something. So, some things have changed. This is a cheeky little time jump here. It's been about a month since I shot that first video that you are about to watch. And since that, in that past month or so, I bought about 120 Blu-rays or so. At the time, I think I had 16. And I bought a bunch more DVDs as well. So I own a bunch more, so I'm turning the video you're about to watch into part 1 of my full collection, and next week I'll be back with my part 2, and you can see all the stuff that I bought in the past month. Okay, jump back to past me talking about my at the time full collection in my part 1 video, and then next week you'll see me in my part 2. Got it? Cool. See ya. Catch ya. So first up, 2 of these I absolutely love, the 21 Jump Street movies. They're probably my favorite comedies. And then the 40-Year-Old Virgin, which I haven't seen for many a year, to be honest. Maybe it's complete shit, but Judd Apatow, I don't know. It's probably good. I don't remember it that well, actually. I haven't seen it for a long time. I watched it when I was probably too young to even understand what the hell it was about. I should probably rewatch it. Then there's American Ultra. This one is underrated as hell. I like that. Next up is this one called Bad Teacher, which is fine. I don't know. Not much to say about that one. Then there's Blockers, which is a fairly new comedy that's kind of like progressive in the kind of genre that it is, the raunchy kind of comedy thing. It's fine. And then Back to the Future. Then there's Borat. Borat is amazing. I'm not proud of thinking it's amazing. Like, I know it's stupid, but it's also ingenious at the same time. Like, Sacha Baron Cohen, the Borat man, he's a smart guy. Like, and as dumb as the movie seems, there is intelligence going on all the way throughout this film. Next up is Bridesmaids. I really enjoyed Bridesmaids. Burn After Reading. I watched this one recently for the first time. Some of it made me laugh out loud. Burt Wonderstone. This is not a particularly good movie, but it has one part that I absolutely love, where they're going to some kind of third world country, like Africa or whatever, and instead of feeding or giving them water or whatever, instead of helping, they give the people magic kits, and they think they're helping, and it's hilarious. It's worth seeing only for that one scene, probably. The Campaign kind of sucks, to be honest. Charlie Bartlett. This one is, this one's underrated as hell as well. Robert Downey Jr. and a young, what's his name again? I feel bad. Anton Yelchin. Yeah. Next up is Click. I personally think this is underrated. Like, I know that Adam Sandler isn't like the best actor or whatever, but this movie kind of makes me cry. Like at the end, it's getting old and stuff. Date Night is fine. So is Due Date. It's fine. The Disaster Artist. Absolutely love The Disaster Artist. Dinner for Schmucks. I think this one's underrated. Steve Carell is funny. I like Paul Rudd. People don't like it, but I don't mind it. I don't know. Dogma. Dogma is pretty good, but this is a really shit cover. Because I got it cheap, cash converters, $3. There you go. I don't know. Who knows how old this is or who owned this first. This is probably a disgusting copy that I don't want to touch, but there you go. Eddie the Eagle. This is still in the wrapping. I have not watched it since cinemas, but I loved it enough to buy it since cinemas, so I own it. But I don't know if I'll ever watch it again. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. This I've seen probably tens of times. Absolutely love it. A Few Best Men. It's alright. Yeah, I haven't seen this for a long time, to be honest. It might be terrible. It looks terrible from the cover, but I remember liking it. Fighting with My Family. This is a great movie. This is one of the best movies of 2019. Trust me, don't judge this just on the cover and stuff. Like, it's actually genuinely pretty good. The 5-Year Engagement. It's very long. It's more dramatic than it is comedic, probably, but I really enjoy this one. Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Kind of similar. They're very similar movies, actually. With Jason Segel and stuff. I don't know. I don't love this one. I like the 5-Year Engagement more. But next up is Game Night. This is the best comedy of 2019 by far, easily. Wait, no, 28. Shit, this came out in 2018. Sorry. Very underrated movie. Very, 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 very funny. Jesse Plemons as this creepy neighbor guy is the best thing you'll ever see in a comedy, maybe. Like, he's so fucking funny. Going the Distance. Really like this one, but what a shit cover. And apparently I paid $12 for this. What? That's what you pay for full price stuff that is better than that. I have buyer's regret for a bunch of this sometimes. Not all of it. Like, I love my collection very, very much, but I wouldn't have bought particular copies of things as I would now anyway. Then there's The Hangover and The Hangover 2. I don't know, it's in a pack. I don't feel that strong about The Hangover one way or another, but it was cheap, I guess. Here Comes the Boom. I think this one's actually pretty underrated. I know Kevin James isn't, like, in the best movies of all time, but I genuinely like this movie. It reminds me of Fighting With Your Family. My family. Yeah. It's good. Then there's Hail Caesar. One of the funniest scenes where they say, would it twere so simple? If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Next up is The Heat. Melissa McCarthy can be great. And in this she is. And this is great. Then there's another one. See, she can also go the wrong way. In Identity Thief, it's an okay movie, but I don't know. It's a bit dumb. Speaking of dumb, Idiocracy. Haunting Tale of Our Future. That's a joke. I don't really believe that. People say that and I think they're being serious. I don't think that, but it is pretty funny. The Interview, the most controversial film of 2013 or whatever year it came out. I Spy, a movie that I used to like when I was a kid and maybe nobody has ever seen or heard of. I don't know. Night and Day. Night and Day is alright. It's pretty good. I don't know. Not much to say about that one. The Life Aquatic. Not much to say about this one either because I haven't seen it. Logan Lucky. Again, it's just these very particular, just singled out scenes that I remember, but this one has one of the funniest fucking scenes that I quoted for months and months after, where Adam Driver with his fake arm, he's missing an arm, he's got a fake arm for it. They're doing a bank heist and there's like these tubes. It's not a bank heist. They're doing a heist thing and there's tubes that suck up things. Anyway, long story short, it sucks his arm off. And he says, "You suck my arm off." And it's hilarious. It's so good. It's one of my favorite movie quotes, to be honest. Seriously. Mallrats. Kevin Smith is a director that I don't super love his movies, but I love the guy, kind of, so I respect it. I like it quite a lot. This is probably my favorite of his, but, you know, it's nothing mind-blowing. It's just fun to watch people kind of just chat. That's kind of what Mallrats is. Then there's Marley and Me. If you ever want to cry, watch Marley and Me. Everybody knows that. You don't need me to tell you that, but, you know, dogs and stuff. Meet Dave. This isn't a great movie, but I do think it's better than people say it is. Whoops. Then there's Meet the Fockers? The Parents. Meet the Parents and the Fockers. They're fine. I feel very strongly about those. Next is Napoleon Dynamite. One of the weirdest movies you'll ever see, but also one of the most popular weird movies. Like, everybody's seen Napoleon Dynamite. You know what I mean? Then there is Office Space and Office Uprising. I guess I like when things go wrong in an office. Next is Pain and Gain. I'm not a big fan of this one, to be honest. I think it's, I don't know, kind of overrated. Then there's The Perfect Score. This was one I used to like when I was younger. I don't remember it super well, but it's like this heist thing, and Chris Evans and Scarlett Johansson are in it as like these teenagers trying to cheat in school or some shit. It's fun. The Proposal. It's alright. The Rocker, and this shit cover with stickers and stuff. Ugh, pretty good movie though. Fantastic music. I love the music in this. Role Models. It's fine. School for Scoundrels. I don't even know why I own this, to be honest. It's okay. I wouldn't buy it now. Do you like my X-Rental sticker there? Secret Life of Walter Mitty. I find this one very profound. I don't know, if you get really into this, it might just change your life. It didn't quite change my life. I wouldn't be that dramatic, but it will give you a better outlook, I think. Seeking a Friend for the End of the World. It's alright. Shanghai Noon. Very nostalgic for Shanghai Noon. Spy. Probably Melissa McCarthy's best movie. Starsky and Hutch. Step Brothers. Classic. I don't know. Superhero movie, shut up. I kind of enjoy this movie a little bit. Talladega Nights. It's good. I don't love Will Ferrell, but, you know, he gets the job done sometimes. That one's a pretty good one. They Came Together. Very underrated. One of the funniest movies I've ever seen in my life, just about. Like, to be honest. It's fantastic. It's like parodying rom-coms and all that kind of stuff. It does all the kind of genre stuff. It's very funny, very underrated, very unknown. Even though it's got Paul Rudd and Amy Poehler, who are, you know, quite known in the comedy scene nowadays, but love it. 1,000 Words. I think this one's a little overrated. I mean, underrated. People fucking hate it. I think it's fine. It's alright. Trainwreck. Haven't watched it. No, I've seen it, but I haven't watched this copy. Got it for $5 though. Walk Hard. Walk Hard is great. The Watch. It's good. I really like this one, but when I rewatched it recently, it wasn't as good as I remembered, to be honest. But it's kind of crazy. It's like these guys doing a neighborhood watch thing, and they come across aliens. And so it all kind of escalates in a silly kind of way there. The Way Back. This one's pretty good. We're the Millers. You, Me, and Dupree, for some reason. I don't really like this movie that much. I mean, it's fine. It's like, I feel like a bunch of these, some of them anyway, especially in the comedies and stuff, I just got them because they were cheap at the time, although apparently this one's $8. I would not have bought this for $8 today. But regardless, apparently I bought this for $8, and it's just a movie that I thought was fine, and that's why I have it. Family Video Land, apparently. I don't know. And last in the just straight up comedies is Zombieland. But we're not done with comedies exactly. There are some subgenres and stuff, and that's what we're getting into now. These are just all the Edgar Wright movies. Just all of them are fantastic. I think that Shaun of the Dead is probably my favorite because I just have the nostalgia for it, and horror comedy is really up my alley and all that kind of stuff. I don't love Scott Pilgrim. I think that's pretty overrated, to be honest. And The World's End is super underrated. And then that leads us into all of the Simon Pegg movies, just all of them. I've got them all together rather than having them alphabetically with the rest, just because I'm a big fan of Simon Pegg, so I don't know. I thought they would go separately. Man Up in particular is very underrated, very good. And Run Fat Boy Run. I like Run Fat Boy Run quite a lot. And then there are the 2 Shane Black movies that I absolutely love in The Nice Guys and Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. These are absolutely ingenious. Like, there's not a mistake in a line. Like everything is written with intent. There is purpose for everything. Everything is so funny. There are such good callbacks. It's so good. Edgar Wright and Shane Black, very, very good directors. And then I just got some more actor kind of bundles here, I suppose. Here I've got the Jim Carrey movies. I've got Bruce Almighty, Fun with Dick and Jane, Liar Liar, which is probably my favorite, or maybe Bruce Almighty is, I'm not sure. Me, Myself, and Irene, which I don't think I've seen all the way through, to be honest. And Yes Man, which was kind of Jim Carrey's last just straight up normal good comedy. Like, he's kind of, I know he's in things still, but yeah. And then I've got Seth Rogen together, 50-50, Pineapple Express, Knocked Up, and Bad Neighbors. 50-50 is great, though Seth Rogen isn't the lead here or anything. Joseph Gordon-Levitt is. I do think he does pretty great in this. This is a really heartfelt movie, surprisingly. Yeah, it's really good. About a guy that gets cancer, just by the way. Pineapple Express is great as well. And then the last kind of actor bundle thing I've got here is Vince Vaughn. I'm actually kind of a big fan of Vince Vaughn, except for Wedding Crashers. I don't like Wedding Crashers kind of at all, to be honest. It's like super sexist if you rewatch it. But Swingers is pretty great. And honestly, I think that The Internship is underrated, as is Delivery Man. And The Dilemma, I think that they're pretty underrated. I really like Vince Vaughn a lot. There's something about him that I really like, but nothing has ever succeeded Dodgeball. Dodgeball is easily my favorite movie of his. Maybe some of it's nostalgia. It's definitely a guilty pleasure, but I fucking love me some Dodgeball. Not the sport, the movie. Okay, next up is like rom-com type stuff. So this is not in order. So Adventureland is first. I think it's pretty good. Along Came Polly. It's fine. Confessions of a Shopaholic. I genuinely like that movie. Clueless. The Edge of 17. Fantastic. Please watch that if you haven't seen it. You, specifically. 4 Holidays. That's fine. This is a big, old, ugly, shit, bulky case. The Intern. I wouldn't buy the... Oh, no, wait, yes, no, I didn't buy... I got this for free. The library was getting rid of movies. I got this for free, so... Ha-ha! Success. I'm making money. Oh, I missed this one. 10 Things I Hate About You. One of my favorites. It's a really good cover, isn't it? We're just completely blocking Heath Ledger's face. I got this for $1. There's a $1 sticker in front of that $10 sticker. 27 Dresses, another one that I kind of hate. Then there's Juno. You know, Juno's good. Life as We Know It. I'm not super into that one, but that one's my wife's. But Love and Other Drugs and Bride Wars and The Devil Wears Prada. I fucking hate these multi-packs. I don't know why I ever bought them. I don't have too many, but I do have some, and they suck. I fucking hate these multi-pack things. Love, Simon. Pretty great. Mean Girls. Mean Girls is like, it's just kind of a classic. I don't love it as much as everybody else does, but it's undeniably like a classic. You know what I mean? Playing it cool. She's the Man. Another one that I genuinely like, and I'm pretty sure this has a bunch of like pop punk kind of stuff that I would have liked. I wouldn't be surprised if like Simple Plan and Good Charlotte and stuff was on this. Like, it's one of those movies. I kind of have nostalgia for that one a little bit. Then there's 16 Candles, which is not as girly as you might think it would be. It's really a sex comedy, and it's quite offensive sometimes. And it's rated PG for some reason. I don't really love this one. I bought it to watch. I'd never seen it before. And I saw the DVD and I'm like, yep, all right, let's watch it. Splinter Heads. I don't really remember this one that much. Informative. That's what you're watching this for. Information. The Switch. It's all right. It's kind of a weird plot where he switches his sperm. It's kind of wrong. Anyway. Table 19. I really loved Table 19, to be honest. Two Night Stand. Very much like it. This is kind of a bonus round of movies that my wife is nostalgic for. Angus Thongs and Perfect Snogging. I don't hate this, I have to be honest. It's kind of entertaining. Bring It On. I really don't. I kind of detest that movie a little bit. Prom. Sydney White. These Amanda Bynes old kind of movies. She's the Man and stuff. I don't hate them. Then there's all the Step Up movies, which largely suck, but I do have to say that the first one's actually pretty good. Another Amanda Bynes one's... another Amanda Bynes one. What a Girl Wants. Again, this is another one that I'm pretty sure has like pop punk Simple Plan type stuff on it. So I really miss when movies, like all movies had that kind of music in it and stuff, you know, because that was what was popular at the time, early 2000s and stuff. I miss that, you know, American Pie used to have Blink-182 and stuff, and now, I don't know, everything's just not Blink-182 anymore. It makes me sad. Anyway, what to expect when you're expecting, I don't know, that's... yeah, whatever. Wild Child, I don't know. I'm not sure. That one's definitely my wife. I want to stop blaming my wife for the ones I don't like. But it's just like, with the whole collection here, a lot of them are ours, like both of ours. Like all the horror movies are pretty much both of ours because she's super into horror. She's the reason I got into horror at all. Like all the superhero ones are mine. So there's a bunch in here that are all mine. And then, you know, some of them are like more my wife's than mine. But, you know, they're still part of my collection, so, you know, they're still worth mentioning in this video. And then there's John Tucker Must Die. That one's kind of good bad. So many piles everywhere. I couldn't organize everything. Oh, God. The reason I did this, just by the way, I'll just pause right here for a second. Got new shelves, because this one, I don't know if you can see on that angle, but it's leaning very heavily. And I'm worried that the whole thing is going to collapse. So... got new shelves, so next time you'll see me, maybe I'll have new shelves. Depends what order I edit everything in, to be honest, but yeah. Next up, movies that are still romance movies, but these ones are like a little more serious. They're not really like comedies, they're just like straight up romance drama type of things. You know, I'm not saying that none of these have any comedic moments or anything, but like primarily I would call them a drama or a romance or something else. I wouldn't call them a comedy. You know what I mean? Okay, so let's get to it. A Long Way Down. I haven't watched this one yet. So that's great, isn't it? Whoops. Flipped. I watched this one in high school. I don't know. It's fine. Footloose, the remake. This is the remake of Footloose. I remember not minding it that much, but I don't know. I think I've only seen it once. Next up is Grease. This is some weird special pack. I don't know. I got this from my sister. I don't even like Grease. I didn't even like Grease, to be honest. But she doesn't really care about having movies. So I'm like, yeah, fuck it. I'll take it. Next up is Keith. I really don't remember this movie very much, to be honest. Kings of Summer, very underrated. I love Kings of Summer. Then there's a Miley Cyrus one, The Last Song. Look, it's cringy as shit, but I don't actually hate this one. Letters to Juliet. The Light Between Oceans. Haven't watched this. The Longest Ride. Yeah, Nicholas Sparks. I got a few Nicholas Sparks ones here. I didn't put them together, but that's what you'll be expecting from this part of the video. But then there is another one called Love, Rosie, not Nicholas Sparks, but this one's genuinely very good. I really like this one. I've watched it a few times. Nicholas Sparks, the lucky one. Me and Earl and the Dying Girl. I actually hate that it's called Me and Earl and the Dying Girl. It should be Me, comma, Earl and the Dying Girl. That is just... I don't know. You didn't ask for that opinion and nobody wants it probably, but there you have it. Manchester by the Sea, heartbreaking stuff. The Notebook and this fucking atrocious cover. Oh god, doesn't it make you want to vomit? But I genuinely like The Notebook quite a lot. It's probably one of my favorites in terms of the romance genre. Then there's Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist. Very nostalgic for this one. It's got good music and stuff. And it's also got security device enclosed sticker on it. Great. Now is Good. Paper Towns, have not watched this copy, but this is a pretty good movie. Got it for $3 apparently. And then there's Perks of Being a Wallflower, which I think is overrated, to be honest. I don't hate it, but I kind of hate it. It's very pretentious. Like, they don't speak like real people in this movie. And it drives me nuts. Like, they're speaking in metaphors and stuff. These teenagers, like, I don't know. This movie kind of drives me insane a little bit, but it's not bad. Then there is The Pursuit of Happiness. Reality Bites. And Reality Bites kind of bites. This sucks. Remember Me. One of the craziest fucking endings that you'll ever see in your life. I won't say anything more, but if you haven't seen it, expect big things. Not for most of the movie. 90% of the movie. 99% of the movie. It's just romancy stuff, and it's genuinely pretty good. And then, oh my god, the ending is insane. Then there's Restless, but apparently this is a rental copy, so I've got this illegal copy. Ooh. Then Risky Business, have not seen. I think this is a romance movie. Safe Haven. Safe Haven is actually pretty good, to be honest. It's also kind of bad, but it's one of those movies, you know what I mean? It's a Nicholas Sparks thing, and it's one of his better ones. The Silver Linings Playbook. Oh god, my big pile keeps falling. DVDs are fucking everywhere. The Silver Linings Playbook, genuinely fantastic. The best, probably the very best depiction of mental health that I've ever seen in film. Then there's The Spectacular Now. Great. Then there's St. Elmo's Fire. Haven't seen it. And there's Stuck in Love. Stuck in Love is great. And I really like the characters. I think that movie is underrated. I like it a lot. Submarine. It's a good one. Thoroughbreds. Very good. Titanic. I watched this for the first time kind of recently. And yeah, it's good. What a hot take. Then there's Up in the Air. Yeah. Up in the Air. A Walk to Remember. The most cliche, most just kind of cringy romance movie you'll ever see. But it's not terrible, I guess. I don't know. It's not really for me. This one's not for me. But if you like the genre, it is what it is. But Water for Elephants is one that I do quite like. I'm telling you, man, like, fucking Robert Pattinson is great. Robert Pattinson's been a good actor for years. He's not just been a good actor recently. He's always been a good actor. Okay, just forget about Twilight for a second. He's good. He's good in this. He's good in everything, pretty much. Even the movies I don't love, he's good in. So, yeah. Shut up. Young Adult. I don't really remember this one super well, but I actually want to rewatch this one. I remember really liking it. And then there's some that I just missed when I was alphabetizing because I put him somewhere else, and and then I found him after I was done with the pile. I didn't want to dick around with it too much, so this is just your miscellaneous romance movies. The First Time, I really enjoy The First Time. It's got really witty dialogue and stuff, just about young people talking for about 95% of the movie. I like it. Then there's Endless Love, which is the most melodramatic romance movie you'll ever see in your life. Very dramatic, but I liked it when I was a teenager. It reminded me of my romance with my now wife and stuff, and I don't know. I like it, but it is very melodramatic, that one. So is Dear John, I guess, but it's very well done. I like it quite a lot. Then there's Before Sunrise and Before Sunset, which are... Oh, I love these movies so much. They are perfect. They are amazing. They are just talking. The whole movies are just talking. But it's just these intelligent people discussing things, all sorts of things. You just learn who they are. You just spend time with them. It's so good. I love those movies so much. I really shouldn't have them disrespectfully in this stupid fucking double feature pack, though. I should get them on Blu-ray. Then there's... I don't know how to say that name. Celeste? I don't know. That and Jesse Forever, which is one that I want to rewatch because I remember this one being a lot more dramatic than I thought it was going to be going in because, you know, Andy Samberg and stuff. But then it wasn't like dumb at all or anything. It wasn't like his other stuff at the time. And that disappointed me at the time, but I think that I would actually really appreciate that about it now. But I haven't seen it for a few years. Then there's Charlie St. Cloud, which is about ghosts or something. Collateral Beauty, have not seen. And this is just another miscellaneous pile. I really fucked up the alphabetizing here apparently, but The Art of Getting By, I've kind of outgrown this, but I've very much related to this. It's about this artist who wants to be an artist, but it's quite teenagey and stuff, but it's like, it's got a nice kind of romance type of thing in there. It's pretty good. I do like it quite a lot, but I do think that it's a little bit like melodramatic and teenagey and stuff, but I like it quite a lot and I would recommend seeing it. Then there's The Age of Adeline, which apparently I got for $10, but there you go. Time travel. I like time travel. Wait, it's not time travel. No, I'm thinking of The Time Traveler's Wife. I'm so sorry. She doesn't age. It's kind of time travel. Then there's The Vow. Makes me want to cry. The Vow is great. The best Nicholas Sparks movie that was not written by Nicholas Sparks or wasn't based on a Nicholas Sparks book. Speaking of Nicholas Sparks, Jesus Christ, The Best of Me. I genuinely kind of enjoy this one, although it's very over dramatized again. There's like this whole plot with these criminals and stuff, and it's weird. But the one thing that I find hilarious about this movie is that there's like two versions, there's two timelines going on of the same people. And James Marsden is the adult, and then there's like a younger version in the flashbacks that you see throughout. But the dude that plays the younger version of James Marsden looks fucking nothing like him. And like, he's meant to be, I guess, like 15 maybe, but like he looks fucking 25. And like, he's not gonna look like James Marsden when he gets older. Like, he's already an adult. He looks like how he's gonna look. And I find it so funny. But apart from that, I like that movie, genuinely. The Fault in Our Stars, you know what The Fault in Our Stars is. I don't have to fucking say anything about that. Time Traveler's Wife. This movie is so much more boring than you would think it would be. But time travel, I like time travel. Whatever. It's kind of a funny story, one of my favorite movies as a teenager, and still is fantastic. Ruby Sparks, it's good. Men, Women, and Children. This one's really underrated, but apparently I got this for $16 and I would not get it for $16 today. But I really enjoyed this one. It's about technology and modern times and stuff. People really don't like it and think that it's actually a bad depiction of all those things, but I quite like it. I don't know what to tell you. Maybe I'm dumb. Then there's Love Actually, which is just a fucking classic, let's be honest. And then a bonus round of these anthology romance movies, including Valentine's Day, New Year's Eve, and He's Just Not That Into You, which have massive, massive casts and are about the love. And those are the movies for you. I got all of these from video shops, and I kind of like them. I kind of like these. Look, they're probably guilty pleasures or whatever. I understand they're not good exactly, but like, they're very sentimental and they're very, I don't know, I kind of enjoy them, to be honest. At least some of them. He's Just Not That Into You in particular is pretty good. And now, going from romance, I feel like that kind of leads into YA dystopia romancy type stuff. Woo! That's what we're doing here. Beautiful Creatures. Divergent. I fucking hate Divergent very, very much, but I own it. The Giver, very, very good. The Giver might be my favorite of this kind of genre. Then there's The Host, $5, X Rental. I don't like The Host either. Then there's All Four, no, 3. I don't have All Four. I don't have the fourth one. Hunger Games. 3 of the Hunger Games movies. Yeah, Hunger Games is genuinely very good. You know what the Hunger Games is. I think they're quite good. Then there's 2 of the Maze Runner movies. I think there's 3. I don't have the third. I don't think I've seen the third, but there you go. Maze Runner movies. An Australian one called Tomorrow When the War Began, which I know the title doesn't make any sense, but I used to really like this one when I was younger, based on a book series. Well, obviously that's the genre I'm doing, right? YA, romancy type stuff, actiony type stuff, just YA. That's what's here. There's a bit of romance in all of them. There's a bit of action in all of them, whatever. But yeah, yeah, kind of nostalgic for that one, but I don't super love it. Then there's all the Twilight movies. Just every single one of them got them from cash converters. It's called. Got them for shit, not even that cheap. $8 this one was, $6 this one was, 5, 7, all completely different prices. I wouldn't buy them for this price today, but I do have to say that I think Twilight gets a bad rap. While I don't love it, while I don't think that they're great, while they're very kind of silly and stuff in certain ways, and they're cringy in certain ways, and all this kind of stuff, you know, you can poke holes in Twilight for sure, but it kind of gets a bad rap. I don't think it's as bad as everybody says, and even if it is, who gives a fuck? People still talk about him today like, at least it's not Twilight. Like, better love story than Twilight. Maybe that one's a bit of an old meme, but still, it's like, people still talk about them to this day like they're the worst fucking things in existence. But like, it literally ended 8, 9 years ago. Like, give it a rest, man. They're not even popular anymore. Jeez. Then there's The Vampire's Assistant. It's pretty good. Okay, next up, the Lord of the Rings movies. You know, they just kind of fit in with the YA thing going on, so kind of similar stuff, you know what I mean? Yeah, Lord of the Rings. They're good. I'm not absolutely in love with them. I'm not like a die-hard fanboy of these or whatever. But, you know, there's no denying that they're... I couldn't say they're bad. They're good. And now we are just at the straight dramas. Now, some of these you could argue are maybe subgenres of something else. Like, I've got some war, I've got some crime, I've got some whatever. But I've just bundled them all up into just basic drama. That's what you're about to see now. That's the pile I've got organized here. This is drama. Okay? You ready? After the Dark. This is very underrated, very clever about these theorists, I guess. Like, what's that thing? Philosophers. It's about philosophy. And about, it's like a hypothetical thing of the end of the world. And if it were to happen, who should you save and who shouldn't you? The whole thing is hypothetical. It's about this class talking about this stuff, but there's all these visuals as if it's actually happening. And like, some of it gets dark and dramatic, and it's actually really creative. I really enjoy this. But yeah. Next up is Amelie. Haven't seen it, to be honest. And I'm not happy about that fact. I really should watch this. American Hustle. I think that it's pretty great. I really like this. It's very slow, but, you know, well, that's what drama is, right? And this is about as good as drama gets. Then there's American Pastoral. It's fine. And then another American Sniper. Yeah, it's good. Next up on the pile. I don't know why I'm doing a voice. Basketball Diaries. I watched this for the first time this year. Maybe it was last year now. I don't know. Time. What's time? This is fantastic. It's got great young early performances from Leonardo DiCaprio and Mark Wahlberg, and maybe some others. I don't know. I don't really remember. But yeah, this one's really good. I would recommend watching that one. Shit, fuck. And then The Big Short. I'll be honest, I don't love The Big Short, but Black Klansman. I do love Black Klansman. Then there's The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. Just the most fucking depressing movie you'll ever see in your life. Coupled with Boyhood. I don't know, they're both boy movies, so... double feature for you there, I guess. Boyhood is alright. I think that it's more known for its gimmick of being shot over 10 years. And, you know, it's interesting in that way to see, but it doesn't really utilize that idea as well as you would expect. It's good, but it kind of just leads to nowhere. But maybe that... like life, right? Maybe that's intentful. That's on purpose. I know how to speak. I do. Next up is Burnt. This is Bradley Cooper as a chef movie. Then there's Castaway. Castaway is a classic. Another Tom Hanks one, Captain Phillips. Yeah, I am the captain now, blah, blah, blah. Then there's A Clockwork Orange, which I don't like. I don't like A Clockwork Orange. I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy it. I like Stanley Kubrick, but I don't enjoy this one. It's just people raping people. don't get it. I don't get it. I don't like it. Then there is Crash. Crash, 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 Crash. Everyone says that this one should not have won. Did it win? It won Best Picture, yes. Everyone says this one shouldn't have won Best Picture back in the day in whatever year this came out. But you know what? I think this is fantastic. I think this movie is great. I just think if it didn't win the fucking Best Picture thing, people would probably respect it more. But as it stands, people are like, nope, didn't deserve it. So it gets a bad rap, if you ask me. Then there's Defiance, and then The Dinner. The Dinner is really good. It's got terrible ratings though, so I might be the only one that thinks that. Don't Tell. Kind of boring. Don't watch. Ha! Ha! Don't watch! Ha ha ha! Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I really need to rewatch this one. I watched it when I was too young, I think, and I didn't really fully appreciate it. I hate this cover, this weird silver cover thing. It's the 2-disc collector's edition, but it's kind of ugly. Then there's Forrest Gump. Come on, I mean, yeah, Forrest Gump. We all know what Forrest Gump is, blah, blah, blah. Then Fury. Fury, I think, is legitimately fantastic. John Bernthal is one of my favorite actors, and he's awesome in this. You fucking hate him, though. Then there's, I forgot his name. Logan Marshall Green. That's the guy from Upgrade, not this. I don't know. Doesn't say it here. It just says Brad Pitt on the back, but some pretty good performances in this one. Brad Pitt, Shia LaBeouf, and John Bernthal are really awesome in it. Plus the dude from Perks of Being a Wallflower, but I forgot his name. And the guy from Ant-Man, apparently, as well. But to be honest, I don't remember him being in it that much. But I'm sure it's good. Then there is very generic, very not that memorable, but very I bought it, The Gambler. I'm sure it's fine. I don't remember it that well. Then there's Gangs of New York, which is, you know, objectively a good movie, but again, like Lord of the Rings, I'm not absolutely in love with this one. I find it surprisingly boring, but you know, it's good. It's just too fucking long. You know, but it's good. It's very cartoony and silly though, like not what I was expecting from that movie when I watched it for the first time. Then there's Gifted, which is about a real smart girl and Chris Evans and stuff, and I don't know, I watched this one on a plane when I watched it for the first time, and I didn't finish it, but I bought it. I liked I watched most of it. I watched like 2/3 of it, and I liked it enough to buy, so here it is. Then there's Good Will Hunting. Fantastic stuff in this. The scene where he says that his wife farted is surprisingly dramatic and funny and beautiful. It's one of my favorite scenes. Talking about his wife, who is dead now, how she used to fart. It's sad, but it's brilliant. I really like this movie, and the blah, 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 it's not your fault. Yeah, that's a classic line. Everyone knows that. But, yeah, it's good. Good movie. Then there is Graduation. This one is like this bank heist kind of movie. I don't know. My wife really likes this one. She used to like it a lot when she was younger. We should rewatch this one. I had this one set as a behind movie because the ones I've got facing on my shelves here, like, you know, to have them have proper support and all.
They're not giving my breasts proper support, proper support, proper support, proper support.
Hang on a second. Hang on a second.
I put movies behind, and I had this one behind some movies in the shelves below, but I'm going to keep this one out as a side one because this is a genuinely pretty damn good movie. Then there is The Green Mile, which is fantastic, except for the weird supernatural stuff. Yeah, I don't know. It's like, it's this really great prison drama for like half of it, and then they're like, magic, woo! And then I'm like, oh, okay, that's not what I thought I was watching. But it's good. This is another one that's like 3 hours long or something though. And this is actually really funny, this DVD in particular, because it is so old and so long that it's on 2 discs. Half the movie is on the first disc. Which I was shocked at when I watched it for the first time. I'm like, are you fucking serious? I had to swap discs. My life was ruined. I had to get up. Ew. Then there's Green Street Hooligans. Hotel Mumbai. Fantastic movie. Definitely see that if you haven't. Then there's Inside Llewyn Davis. Absolutely love this one. Resonated with it a lot. Like this one, this is made for me a little bit. And I love the music in this. I got very obsessed with some of the music. Hang me, oh, hang me. If you know the movie, you know that song. Okay, The King's Speech. King's Speech is boring. Nah, but it's pretty good. Then there's Kids, haven't seen it. I imagine it's very depressing and gross, and so I haven't seen it yet. But when I do watch it, I'm sure it'll be good, but probably depressing and gross. Then there is Legend. Legend is not that great a movie, but it's got a great performance from Tom Hardy playing both these guys, twins, the Cray twins, who were, I don't know, gangsters back in the day. Life, I didn't finish. I didn't really like. I got that one for free though. I got that one from the library for free as well. So I'm making money. The Lookout. I don't love this one, but you know, it's fairly good if you like this kind of drama, bank heist kind of drama, thriller type of thing. Yeah. If you like that kind of thing, you'll probably like it. Then there's Lord of War, which I know is like with the explosion-y cover and all that kind of shit, you'd think, ooh, action, but I count this as a drama. Nicolas Cage, you know, kind of a reserved performance. He doesn't quite go crazy in that one, which might disappoint people because that's kind of what he's known for nowadays. Then there's The Martian, which is good. Memento. I don't love Memento. Memento. I don't love it as much as everyone else. You know, it's clever, but I don't know. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I watched this one for the first time recently. This is a new DVD that I bought. Well, it's not brand new. I'm pretty sure it was used or whatever. But yeah, great movie. A bit weird how it departs from the book in that Jack Nicholson, he ain't the main character in the book. And it's maybe a bit racist. I don't know. But it is a good movie. So I don't know. Then there's Pleasantville. I studied this one in high school. And I really love this movie. This is a terrible cover. Oh no, I kind of like it actually. I changed my mind. It's good. It's pretty good. I love it. I changed my mind. I'm so sorry, Pleasantville. I like this cover, except for the case. The bulky case is disgusting. But yeah, Pleasantville is great. Really interesting one to study about kind of feelings and being human and emotions and color and stuff. It's really creative. Pleasantville is really, really good. Then there's Public Enemies, just a crime drama thing, your typical kind of thing. Then there's Raging Bull, which I don't really like. I know I don't like Clockwork Orange. I don't like Raging Bull. I don't know. I'm not. Some of them don't do it for me. I don't know. I was going back to watching classics, and some of them don't do it for me. I'm sorry. Then there's Rain Man, which is all right. Then there's Requiem for a Dream. Requiem for a Dream. Requiem. Yep, and that's a movie. That is a movie. If you weren't aware, that is a movie. Then there's The Rover. Got this one for free. Making money. I'm making money. Whoops. Then there's Road to Perdition. I studied this one in high school as well. I studied fucking awesome movies in high school. I also studied Scream in high school and Zombieland and Aliens. Like, we had a good media teacher in high school. We watched some cool shit. I didn't appreciate it enough back in the day, but I don't think other schools were watching fucking Zombieland to study. How cool is that? I was lucky. Then there's Secret in Their Eyes. I think this one is really good. This one's a remake. I haven't actually seen the original, but I like this movie. £7. It's okay. Shawshank Redemption, hugely overrated. Don't kill me for saying that. I do think it's overrated, particularly being the very top-rated movie on IMDb. I made a video talking about that and how I think that that's an outdated opinion. But it's good. I wouldn't dare say it's a bad movie. It's a good movie, but I don't absolutely love it. Schindler's List. Haven't watched this copy of it, but, you know, classic, depressing, very, very good movie. But, you know, it's not a movie that you just chuck on, you know, so I haven't really gotten the chance to watch it. And then there's Side Effects. Then there's The Social Network. Speak is good. Stand By Me. Taxi Driver. Finally, here's a classic that I do like a lot. Taxi Driver is a classic. Taxi Driver is a good film. Then there's These Final Hours. Very underrated Australian apocalyptic film about the end of the world. And it's just so depressing and disturbing and powerful, powerful stuff. Then there's Trainspotting. Can't understand a word that they're saying, but it's entertaining. I'm addicted to drugs, eh? That's not the accent at all. Okay, so we went from drama, and now we're going to drama thriller kind of thing, like kind of like in between drama thriller type of stuff, if you know what I mean. Once you go through them, I think you'll get what I mean. The Box. Apparently this one's a thriller according to the box. But yeah, I don't know. I put it in as a drama thriller because it didn't feel like it was strongly one way or the other. It's kind of both. This has one of the most interesting premises of a film you'll ever see, and then fucks it up drastically. It's so uninteresting by the end, but the start is brilliant. I wish this movie was better. Yeah. Then there's Donnie Darko. You know, I don't like super get everything, but I think it's a pretty damn good movie. Then there's Before I Go to Sleep. My wife loves this movie. I think it's fine. I like it. Yeah, blah, blah. Then there is Exam. I talked about this one kind of recently on my channel. It's kind of a horror movie, but not really. Kind of a drama, kind of a thriller. I don't really know where to put it, so it's here. About these people going in for a job interview. They have to do an exam, but they're given no instructions. There's a pen and a paper. They're not allowed to do certain things and all this stuff. It's a cryptic, kind of twisty, turny type of film, and it's really fun. Then there's The Lovely Bones. Night Train. This movie is terrible, but I own it. Then there's The Number 23. Some people don't really love this movie, but I quite do. I think this one's pretty damn good, to be honest. You know, Jim Carrey in a serious role. I always love when, you know, comedic actors play the serious roles and stuff. And I think he does an effective job there. Then there's Seven. Seven is a movie that I've tried watching numerous times, okay? And I get it. I think it's good, but I have just never fallen quite in love with it like everybody else does. It's a movie that I highly respect, a movie that I really want to love, but it's just a bit, I don't know, it's just a bit slow. It's just, I'm not sure. I think the first few times I watched it, I was expecting more of a horror movie because I thought it was a horror. But now I'm putting it in more of a drama. I think it's more of a drama. Drama thriller, anyway. And I think I should rewatch it with that in mind. Maybe I'll like it more. I know it's a classic. I know people love it. And I quite like it. I've seen it a few times. But I think I need to rewatch it. Then there is Seven in Heaven. Probably not a movie you've ever heard of. Just some movie that I bought cheap. It's fine. The Sixth Sense. Again, this is one that could be a horror, kind of, but I don't know. I got it there. I got it, you know. I got it here. I don't know. It's a drama. It's more about the characters. I know there's ghosts and there's some spooky scenes and all that kind of stuff, but it's more of a drama. I studied that in school as well. Then there's Untraceable, which I don't really like that much. And then there's Zodiac. Zodiac is fantastic. Zodiac is like Seven in that it's slow and long and not quite a horror movie like you might expect. But I like Zodiac kind of a hell of a lot more, to be honest. Same director, David Fincher. You know, it's in the same park, you know? It's in the same ball ground. It's in the same genre. Kind of similar, but I like Zodiac a lot more. Okay, so we went from the drama, thriller, horror, kind of vague genre there, and now we're going to thriller, action kind of stuff, okay? First up, though, this one's apparently known as a drama, according to the fucking video shop sticker. But whatever, The Adjustment Bureau. Then there's The Butterfly Effect. I love time travel. I think this one's underrated. Then there's The Book of Eli. I know this one's sort of more action-y, really. Maybe this should be more straight-up action rather than action-y drama thriller. I know this isn't exactly a set genre. I'm not doing a very good job of defining this genre, but that's just because these are kind of hard to define, I guess. You know, once we get to horror, once we get to other stuff, it'll be a bit more clear. But for now, this is where I'm putting it. Then there's Children of Men, fantastic film. Then there is Collateral, best performance by Tom Cruise, probably my favorite movie of his, maybe. I mean, you know, I love Mission Impossible and stuff like that, but in this he actually plays somebody more grounded and somebody bad and somebody, I really buy into his character. I quite enjoy this movie. It's not like the best thing ever, you know, it's not like, it's not the best, but it's good for just one watch. You know what I mean? Then there's The Condemned. The Condemned is a fun movie about these people who go on an island and they have to fight to the death. It's like The Hunger Games, but it's way more violent and way more of an action movie. But catch is, I don't know why I'm saying this one because I don't have it. I don't know where the disc is. Then there's Focus. I think this is underrated. Then there's Harry Brown, which is a great movie about what's right and wrong. Is it okay to break the law for your own justice and all that kind of stuff? You know, it's pretty good in that way. And Michael Caine is good and all that stuff. Yeah, it's good. Then there's Hotel Artemis. It really doesn't do enough with its premise. Then there's Non-Stop. I've seen this one quite a few times. It's, I guess, a guilty pleasure, but it's Taken on a Plane. That's what it is. There's also Taken on a Train in Liam Neeson's series, if you've ever heard of it. The Commuter, that's Taken on a Train. This is Taken on a Plane. And then there's just straight up Taken, which I've also got somewhere, but we're not up to that yet. Then there's Now You See Me. Now You See Me is dumb as fuck, but I've watched it quite a few times. It's entertaining. It makes no fucking sense in its narrative at all, in the slightest. It makes me a bit mad. The sequel should be called Now You Don't, but it's called Now You See Me Too. But I own it, and I own, yeah. Then there's The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3. This is a remake. I haven't seen the original, to be honest, but I quite like this remake. One of John Travolta's only good films, to be honest. Like, I know, he's in Pulp Fiction, which is good. He's in, I don't know, Face Off. I love Face Off. He's in Grease. He's in, I don't know, he's probably in a few more, but like, if you're talking the past 20 years, John Travolta ain't in much good stuff. This is one of them that he is good in. This one's from about 10 years ago or something. Then there's Run All Night. This is taken on a city. Okay, so now that we've gone from actiony, thrillery, drama, whatever these genres were, we're now gonna go to just straight up action. Just action, yeah. And then I've got sci-fi after, but arguably some of these might be sci-fi and arguably some of the sci-fi might be more action. It's really subjective. It's really hard to define. This is how I've said it, okay? Prepare for action! 300. 300 is just the coolest, most substance-less having movies. Like, it is very much style over substance. The story is just... Is there a story? I don't know. It's got slow motion fucking Gerard Butler killing dudes, though, so... Cool. Boondock Saints. I don't like that movie one bit. I thought it was quite bad. The Bourne Identity. This is the only Bourne movie I have. I don't love the series, but, you know, it's good. It's good. It's good. I don't know. Then there's Casino Royale. This is the only James Bond movie I have. Out of the Daniel Craig ones, the new ones, old ones, whatever. This is the only one I have. I quite like this movie, but I don't love James Bond. Then there's Con Air. Con Air, I love. Con Air is fantastic. Con Air, no, it's not. It's bad. It's terrible. But it's also great. You know what I mean if you've seen it. Then there's Die Hard. You know what Die Hard is. I don't need to explain Die Hard. Then there's Eagle Eye. Then there's Face Off. Face Off, I feel very similar with Con Air. It was 1997, the year of the cage. They both came out, and he has not topped that year ever since. Then there's all the Fast and the Furious movies, except 8 and Hobbs and Shaw. I don't have those ones quite yet, but yeah, I don't know. Fast and the Furious, you know what they are. 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, they're all fine. But 5, amazing. 6 is good. 7, amazing. You know what this series is. It gets more and more ridiculous. 1 and 2 are so cringy about, like, it's kind of like all the street racing stuff and the neon lights and everything. But it's very much guilty pleasure territory. I like them all, but 5 and 7 are the best. Oh god, you don't want to see what that looked like. Next up is Getaway. I think it's underrated. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I got this one for free from a library as well. See, that's the thing. A lot of my movies, I got cheap. I got cheap from op shops, I got cheap from libraries, I got cheap from whatever, secondhand, all that kind of stuff. I have a big collection, and I know they're DVDs and they're not Blu-rays, and I regret that very much now. Thank you. But the thing is, you know, I didn't waste tons and tons and tons and tons of money. A lot of these I got cheap, and I'm happy with them. I think that's fine. I don't think you need particularly good, expensive copies of things. Like, I like them. I love my collection. Whatever. Then there's Godzilla. Waste of Bryan Cranston in that movie. Jesus Christ. But it's a good movie still. Then there's Ghost in the Shell. Haven't watched it. Then there's Hancock. Really liked that one when I was younger. Then there's Hansel and Gretel. Witch Hunters. This is like Face Off and Con Air kind of thing. It's more modern. I think this came out in 2012. It's bad. It's bad, but I remember I saw it in cinemas. It was like slow motion, just Archer bullshit. It's so good. I was gonna say bad just then, but I'm gonna go with good. Then there's Homefront, genuinely good. Whoa. There is Jumper, genuinely bad. Why do I own Jumper? Like, why? Why do I own Jumper past me? You fucking dumbass. Then there's King, I was going to say. Then there's King Kong, the 2005 Peter Jackson version. Fairly good. I don't have the older version. I've never seen the older version. But I really like this, and I really should get onto the older version. I think I'd be into it. Then there's both the Kingsman movies. One fantastic movie, one massive letdown, but it's still fine, but it's a massive letdown still. Yeah. The sequel just was not as good. But I'm still hoping for that third prequel thing that's going on. I'm hoping that's going to be good. And I like this series. I hope that it continues. And I hope that it's good. And I hope Matthew Vaughn keeps directing them because the first one is really good. It's got fantastic character stuff in it. Like the progression of, what's his name? Eggsy. I really love that aspect to this movie. And yeah, the second one. Yeah. Anyway, Law Abiding Citizen. People say this is dumb, and I feel like I'm meant to say this is a guilty pleasure. But it's not. I just fucking like this for real. I like this movie a lot. I don't think it's dumb. A lot of people do, and it makes me feel dumb. But I genuinely like Law Abiding Citizen. It's about this guy getting revenge, and he's just the ultimate badass guy, and their rivalry between Gerard Butler and Jamie Foxx. Like, this guy, played by Gerard Butler, is such a villain, but you're kind of on his side because he's getting revenge and he's doing justice kind of, but not really at all. Like, he's straight up very much a criminal. But, I don't know. It's just a really cool movie. I genuinely like it. Then there's Lawless, which is good. Then there's the Magnificent Seven remake. Then there's Minority Report. And then there is all the Mission Impossible movies. One, Mission Impossible 2, which is just the fucking worst. It's so bad. You know, Mission Impossible 3, J.J. Abrams brought it back on track. Ghost Protocol, Brad Bird, the best one. Very much love it. Don't have Rogue Nation. Just because I haven't seen it cheap, to be honest. And I kind of keep forgetting that Rogue Nation exists. I don't know, it's just kind of, I don't feel very strongly towards it. But then Fallout, I got cheap, brand new, very good. I was very happy with this purchase. One of the best ones as well. Ghost Protocol and Fallout are really, really good ones. Next up is Mad Max. You know, that's just a modern classic right there. You can't say one fucking bad thing about Mad Max. You just can't. Then there's both the Mummy movies, The Mummy and The Mummy Returns. You know, they're fun adventure stuff. You know what The Mummy is. I like them. But look at that terrible, terrible thing there. Buy this, join the club, earn free DVDs. That sounds good, but I bet it's not a thing anymore. Then there's Pirates of the Caribbean, which the front cover wants to announce I paid $4 for. Two-disc collector's edition. Ooh, fancy boy. And this probably reigns over as being the film with the longest title that I own. Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl. That's a lot of words. Then there's Premium Rush, The Protector. Haven't watched it. Then there's Red Dawn remake. Have not seen the original. So I know there's quite a few here that I haven't seen the original of, and I only have the remake. That probably sickens some people, but that's just the case. I'm just here to tell you my opinions, tell you the truth. Yeah. Then there's Rush Hour. You know, Rush Hour is fun. I don't know. It's probably not the best movie, but it's fun. But But, do you know what the best action movie is? Probably maybe The Raid. Yes. It's a video game in a movie and it has the best action, best martial arts fighting stuff I've ever seen in my life. If you haven't seen The Raid, do so immediately. Then there's Shooter. Then there's Source Code. Then there's Speed. I love Speed. What does he say on The Simpsons? He says, like, it's like Speed 2, but on a bus. Actually, there's a few Speed jokes in The Simpsons. He's like, I saw this movie once where it's a bus that couldn't slow down or else it would explode. I think it was called The Bus That Couldn't Slow Down. Something like that. I'm paraphrasing, but it's so funny. Anyway, stolen Nicolas Cage movie. Just the worst, ripped, terrible cover that you've ever seen in your life. For some reason, I fucking bought this in this condition. It was probably 50 cents or something, I imagine. But still, I'm not sure I would buy something of this quality today, even for that much. Then there's Taken 1 and 2. Yeah, you know, they're cool. Then there's The Transporter 1 and 2. These are movies that I feel fine with having in the stupid little variety pack things, just because, I don't know, I don't feel that strongly about them, but I like them, so yeah. Then there's The Tournament. I forgot about this movie. I didn't even realize I picked it up. This is like the Hunger Games again. It's another, like, well, how it sounds. It's another tournament kind of thing where there's like one survivor. Death by elimination, says the tagline. And oh my god, this is such a good guilty pleasure type bullshit. Like, yeah, no. I like this movie, but I'm not sure I would recommend it. Then there's Wanted, guilty pleasure of mine. I reviewed it earlier this year. Then there's White House Down. White House Down. Exactly the same movie as Olympus Has Fallen. I think it came out the same year. This is the better one if you ask me, but it didn't get sequels. So fuck me, right? Okay, and now we've got to the sci-fi action. Again, arguably maybe these could have fit in action, maybe vice versa, all that kind of stuff. But I've got them in sci-fi. Let's go. First up is Aliens, another one that I got this because of school. I studied this one in school and we had to buy the DVD, so that's why I own Aliens. Well, also because it's fun and cool, but that's how I got it. Then there's Chappie. I am Chappie. My name is Chappie, whatever he says. I like this. There's Cloud Atlas. Haven't seen it. I buy things and I don't even watch them. What the fuck is wrong with me? Hey, I got those ones from the library for free. I'm making money. Okay. Then there's iRobot, which is in this fancy case. Ooh. Jurassic World. It's the only Jurassic movie I own. I should get Jurassic Park. Then there's Looper. And then Lucy, which I like. The end is a bit dumb, but I like Lucy. Again, like, I got so many of these from video shops. New to weekly, it says. Oh, no. Dropping movies everywhere. Next up is The Matrix Reloaded. I also have The Matrix, but that is reserved up there in my favorites. This one is a far inferior film, but it does have better action if you ask me. It does have superior action. I used to love this when I was a kid. I would just skip to the action scenes. I didn't give a shit about what they were talking about. I didn't care about all the philosophy, weird stuff in it and all that kind of thing. I just wanted to watch the cool kung fu and freeway chase shit, you know? Yeah. Then there's Repo Man. I really enjoyed this one a lot. It's really good. It's not very talked about ever, really. Then there's Selfless. Same goes with that. Then there's Star Trek Into Darkness, Star Trek Beyond, and Star Trek, just Star Trek. Yeah, these are pretty good. They kind of get worse, but I like the first one quite a bit. Then there's Sunshine, which is a movie that I will probably never watch again, to be honest, because it makes me feel small. It makes me think about the inevitability of fucking the world just dying. It is about the sun, which is dying, and they have to save it. And for some reason, last time I watched this movie, it gave me a visceral reaction of just thinking and Googling about the inevitability of the sun dying. And it's not for millions and millions and millions of years or something, but it's deemed that it will happen one day, but not for millions and millions and millions of years, but still, it's weird to think about. It scares me so much. I should probably not talk about that. Then there's Star Wars. Woo! Fun lasers and blah blah blah. Star Wars. Pew pew. Zzz, zzz. That's my Star Wars reenactment. The Force Awakens is my favorite Star Wars, and then this is the original trilogy, just in a pack there. Yeah. I've also got The Last Jedi, and I have bought Solo and Rogue One. They are on the way. I don't think I have any of the prequels. Well, no, I don't, because I have them sorted out, and the prequels are nowhere to be seen. Prequels are bad. I don't think that's really a hot take. And the originals are good, but I like The Force Awakens the most. And Rise of Skywalker, don't get me started. Don't get me started on the Rise of fucking Skywalker. Okay, then I have all the Terminators. So Terminator 2, you know, arguably the best one. But then there's Terminator 1, which I think I personally like more. But I've got it in this, sorry, that'll be glary. I've got it in this pack here with 6 Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, including Commando, Conan the Barbarian, Predator, Stay Hungry, The Terminator, and True Lies. Yeah! I don't know why I'm doing that. Then there's Terminator 3, which is not the worst thing. It's really, it doesn't fucking touch 1 and 2. And then there's Salvation, which is in a beautiful case. I wish I liked the movie more. You know, it's a good movie, I guess. It's alright. I don't know. But it's a beautiful case. Then there's the Terminator Genesis. No, just Terminator. It's not that Terminator. Terminator Genesis, which was, in a couple of years, deemed pointless and just written off as nothing. I don't have... what was the last one called? I don't have whatever Terminator it's called, where he works at a rug or carpet or whatever shop he works, curtains, whatever it is. I don't have that one. I don't really like that one. Then there's The Sixth Day, which is a genuinely really good movie about clones, and it makes you think about yourself. Like, if there's a clone of yourself, that's not you, that's someone else, but no one else can tell. But from your point of view, you can very much tell. And if you die and then you're replaced by a clone, it's really haunting to think about that you're going to be replaced and no one will tell the difference because it's you. It is you, but to you it's not, because you're dead. Your consciousness is gone. And then there's Total Recall! Yeah! Woo-woo! Pew pew pew! Lasers and guns and stuff and whatever else is in Total Recall. Yeah! And then arguably not a sci-fi, not in the slightest at all. It's not arguable at all. It's straight up not. But with the Arnold Schwarzeneggers, The Last Stand, which I like. And then to finish off the sci-fi movies is Rise of the Planet of the Apes and War for... I hate that. War for the Planet of the Apes. I've also got Dawn of the Planet of the Apes on Blu-ray. Okay, so naturally from going to action, we're now going to kids' movies. Because nothing really let in for what I have left. I guess there's superheroes from action, but we're not up to that yet. I've still got organizing to do. Oh, so first up, we will go with the Disney 3D animated movies, starting off with a Big Hero 6, fun superhero stuff. Bolt's not great. Tangled is better than Frozen. Tangled is one of my absolute favorite animated movies of all time. Love it. It's so quick-witted. It's so fun. It's so innocent. I love it. Wreck-It Ralph. Then there's Zootopia, which probably is the best, my very favorite of animated movies ever. Absolute genius Zootopia is. Like, I hate when you say this thing is genius and it's these fucking, you know, furry animal smiling people, humanoid things on the cover. You look dumb, but oh man, do I love Zootopia. And now we're getting into the Pixar stuff. I don't have all the Pixar movies, but you know, I got a bunch here. Brave, A Bug's Life, Finding Nemo, absolute classic Finding Nemo. Inside Out, and this ripped, shitty fucking cover, god damn it. Monsters, Inc., my absolute favourite of the Pixar movies. Monsters University, a movie I didn't mind going back to in terms of that universe and stuff, just because I love Monsters, Inc. so much. Ratatouille rivals Monsters, Inc. I don't know which one. I like Monsters, Inc. more, but Ratatouille is very chef's kiss. Then there's Toy Story, Toy Story 2, Toy Story 3. I don't have Toy Story 4 yet, but yep, Toy Stories. Then there's WALL-E, which is, you know, really good. And then there's Up. Did I do that out of order? WALL-E, W is after you, right? Oh well, Up. It's fantastic. But I will say that the first 10 minutes it should have been a short. The first 10 minutes is one of the best short films I've ever seen in my life, ever. I love it to absolute death. The rest of the movie is just fun. You know, everyone only kind of remembers the first 10 minutes, but, you know, the rest of the movie, they're doing adventure shit with this big bird and this weird, crazy, zany shit. It's quite different from that first 10 minutes. Then we're going into the classic Disney 2D animated stuff. Don't have too many of these. Would like a lot more, to be honest. Beauty and the Beast, really good. Aladdin, Bambi, and the Aristocats. I did that. Did I do that out of order? I did that out of order. But that's fine. And then in the kids category stuff, next up is the DreamWorks movies. Again, not too many of these. How to Train Your Dragon, which is really good. I do want the other two. I should really get on to getting those. Puss in Boots, which I like it. I like Puss in Boots. Whatever. Fuck you. And the Shrek quadrilogy, the whole story, it says on the front. I don't know. You know, obviously, you gotta have Shrek. Come on. And then there's Illumination, which disgusts me a little bit. Oh, wait, I missed one. Spirit. That's DreamWorks as well. I'm so sorry. Then Illumination, which disgusts me. I shouldn't own any Illumination. But then you look at Despicable Me 1 and 2 and I don't hate these movies. I kind of dig Despicable Me a little bit. So, sorry, they're kind of creative. I know the Minions are the worst fucking thing ever. I know they're so annoying. And like, you know, fucking old people on Facebook posting them and all this stuff. I know the Minions are bad. But the Minions aren't actually in the Despicable Me movies as much as you'd expect. I kind of dig these movies. Then there's Hop. I don't have anything to say about Hop. I really don't. And then there's just other. I'm not quite sure what studios all these are from. There's the Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs and Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2. Fantastic, clever, very, very funny, quick-witted movies that are so fast-paced. The editing, the animation, everything is so cartoony. Absolutely love those movies. Then there's the SpongeBob movie. That's more my wife's than me. I don't have a huge affinity or nostalgia for SpongeBob. I never really watched it when I was a kid, which is weird for people my age, I guess, but there you go. Then there's Coraline. Oh, I shouldn't have said SpongeBob. That was out of order. I keep fucking up the alphabetical order. Anyway, Freebirds, which is a movie that I'm probably the only person that owns that. Then there's Horton Hears a Who. Then there's Hotel Transylvania, Ice Age, and The Simpsons movie. This copy of Ice Age must be so old. I used to have it when I was a kid. Anyway. And to finish off the kids genre, I've got the live action. They're from different studios and stuff, but these are live action family movies. So first up is Alice in Wonderland. Then there's the Beauty and the Beast remake. It's probably the best Disney remake of the live action stuff that they've been doing recently. It's the only one I own as well. Then there's Elf, favorite Christmas movie, absolute favorite. Then there's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. The Grinch. You don't have to say the whole fucking title. It's a good movie. It's so cartoony and annoying, but, you know, if you're in the mood, it's good. The Haunted Mansion. This one is kind of just a nostalgic, guilty pleasure type of thing. Then there's Home Alone 1 and 2, Jumanji, another classic, and The Karate Kid, another classic. You know, that's just how it goes sometimes. Okay, next up is horror. I'm going to turn the camera off for a second here because I have some organizing to do. I need to figure out which order I'm going to put them in and all this kind of stuff. But this does mean that we are close to being finished. I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. I've done 7 shelves of 12. 7 of 12. We're nearly there. I don't know why I did that. Okay, cool. Yep, cut. Alright, so some time has clearly passed. I'm back now with bare shelves, completely. Nothing's left. All my movies are off of these shelves, ready for the new ones. And yeah, so let's get to horror. And this is going to be a long one because out of all the genres, horror is the biggest. I've got the most horror movies out of anything else. First up is 10 Cloverfield Lane. Fantastic, with a shit ending. 28 days and 28 weeks later, and this cool double pack thing. I don't actually mind this one, it's kind of cool. I love both those movies. 28 weeks later is fantastic. 1408, I think this one's pretty underrated. Legitimately scary. Not many movies scare me. I don't find many movies very scary. That one, I think that is successfully creepy. Amusement, kind of bad. Annabelle, another one that's, I don't know, Annabelle's alright. Antisocial. ATM. Autopsy. This one is gross. If you're a horror buff, I guess I'd give it a light recommend, but it's pretty fucked up. And it's clearly low budget, not the best film ever, but if it's your kind of thing. Bait, silly shark movie, you know, they can be fun. Next up, the only 2 Chucky movies that I've got, Bride of Chucky and Curse of Chucky. I haven't seen all of the Chucky movies. I'm not the biggest fan, especially these sequels, especially this Bride of Chucky. They're just a bit silly, I feel like. And I like silly horror, but I don't know, this one, it's more just like, haha, he's a doll and he's saying fuck or something. And it's like, yeah, that's not for me. I really like the remake of Child's Play. There I go again, liking remakes of stuff. I'm probably sickening people. But anyway, Cabin in the Woods, one of the most creative horror movies ever. The Call. And the controversial, and damn it, this sticker's wrecked the cover a little bit. Cannibal Holocaust. Yeah, that is a film that I have. Very, very split on what I think about this. There's real life animal, pain, torture, killing in this movie, which I'm not advocating in the slightest, and I skip those scenes. Not interested in that, but, and I hate to say it, this makes me look like a psycho, this is better than you'd think. This is better than it should be, and actually makes some interesting points about society. Then there's this one called Case 39. Not a massive fan of this one, but it's fine. Then The Collector and also The Collection. These are pretty good. These are I reviewed the first one earlier this year. It's basically like the horror version of Home Alone, and it's pretty brutal and stuff, but it's really well done. I'm quite a fan of these movies. Then The Conjuring, which is, in my opinion, probably the scariest movie in terms of actually feeling physically scared. James Wan, man. James Wan is so damn good. I love The Conjuring. The Crazies remake. Creep, some weird monster train movie, I don't know. But it's a weekly rental, so... Crimson Peak, have not seen it, but I got it for free. I got that from the library for free. I'm making money here. I'm making money. It's true. Daybreakers. This one is really creative and underrated, and people think it's bad, but I think it's good. And also, this stupid DVD has covers, stickers all over it. A lot of my DVDs do, if you haven't noticed yet. Surely you have. Then this kind of cool version of Dawn of the Dead, the Zack Snyder 2004 version. I would love to get the other versions of it, the original ones by Romero, but at the moment I do not have those. Then there's Dead End, just a corny kind of ghost movie thing. I kind of like it. Detention, that's another really creative one. That's more of a comedy, but it fits in with horror, so it can stay here. Devil, Dystopia. I liked this when I was younger. I liked the start of this movie when I was younger. I liked watching Shia LaBeouf just hang out and play Xbox and shit. But it's kind of a fun horror thriller type of thing. Drag Me to Hell. Sam Raimi returning to that kind of stuff. Dread. It's kind of fucked up, this movie. But yeah. The Employer. I don't remember this movie in the slightest. It looks very low budget. It looks... this is a very photoshopped cover. I doubt this is any good, but I don't know. It's just one of the kind of action-y horror movies that I would have liked when I was younger. So I've got whatever that is for some reason. Evil Dead, which is cool, but personally I find that movie kind of boring, to be honest. Then there's Fido, which, yeah, it's more of a comedy, I suppose, but, it's zombies and stuff. It fits in. I really like the kind of aesthetic of this movie. It feels like old school and stuff, but it's like instantly not, because of being a horror movie and being kind of screwed up in that way. But it's pretty funny. Then there's the Final Destination quadrilogy here, even though there's 5 of those now. Trick is with these though, these don't work. I think they're the wrong region. So that's just great, isn't it? But I've got them, so I thought I'd mention them. And then there's The Final Girls, another really creative horror comedy. I'm really into horror comedy. I don't know if you I guess you know that if you're watching this. I recently watched Brain Dead / Dead Alive for the first time recently. Just by the way, that just reminds me. Oh man, I love that. Why didn't anybody tell me that? I would absolutely love that. Anyway, we don't have time to talk about irrelevant movies, do we? Next up is Freddy vs. Jason and the Friday the 13th remake. And I'm just putting A Nightmare on Elm Street. This is all of them here, like every movie. 1, 2, 3, 4, how many? 7. There's 7 here. Freddy's Dead, Freddy's whatever, New Nightmare, all of those. And then the remake I also have. And I don't mind the remake. I don't think it's quite as an atrocity as some of the fans think. It's definitely not as good as the original, but it's probably at least as good as some of the later ones, at least in terms of quality. I love the old, sequels, how silly they are, but, in terms of quality, I don't know, the remake is alright, to be honest. I, just by the way, really want to get that Friday the 13th collection of all the movies, but I just don't think it's going to happen. It's just too expensive, and it's the wrong region, and all this stuff. And I really want to get just more big collections like that in general. If you haven't noticed, I don't have too many, so yeah. Fright Night is next. That's, again, the remake. Then Get Out, which is one of my favorite instant classic horror movies. The Green Inferno, pretty fucked up. You might like it if you're into that kind of thing. It's kind of the spiritual sequel to Cannibal Holocaust, in a way. Then there's Green Room, which is just as fucked up, pretty much. Kind of like a punk rock revenge type of... Not revenge, but I don't know. It gets pretty bloody. It's fun. Then I've got some of the Halloween movies. The worst one, Halloween Resurrection, fucking terrible. I rewatched it recently, and woo boy, it's not good. And then there's the Rob Zombie ones. I also don't like these. I hate all of the Halloween movies that I own. I don't own the good ones. I need that. I would also like a collection of those, but yeah, at the moment I just don't have them. The Rob Zombie ones, he should have done Chainsaw Massacre, not Halloween. That is my opinion, because Halloween is meant to be like middle-class suburbs and stuff, not this white trash kind of thing. And then like Chainsaw Massacre, that's where the hillbilly shit is. Like he would have fit right in there. But in Halloween, it's like just all the gross dialogue and stuff is really jarring and strange, and I don't like it. Anyway, and then I got Hannibal Rising and Hannibal and Red Dragon, and I do have Silence of the Lambs, of course, but it's with the S's. I didn't actually group them together. Damn it. And Hannibal Rising, just by the way, I think that's pretty underrated. Then there's Hard Candy, which is a very interesting movie about capturing a pedophile, I suppose. It's, you know, so it's pretty fucked up or whatever, but not in a way where it has to be graphic about it or anything. In fact, it's very not graphic, which I appreciate about it. But the implications are there, and I don't know, it's a very interesting movie about, yeah, it's pretty good. Anyway, then there's Happy Death Day and Happy Death Day to You, which are absolute favorites of mine, to be honest. Horror comedy, like I said. Then Hereditary. This is another one like The Conjuring. This rivals The Conjuring in actually, you know, in terms of actually being scary. Hereditary is just nightmare fuel. Then there's The Hitcher. This is a remake. Then there's Horns, another sort of comedy, horror comedy type of thing. Then there's Hostel 2. It's the only one I own of that franchise. I think that they mostly suck. Number 1 is kind of weird, how it's just like this weird American Pie type of thing for the first half. I don't know, I'm not super into it. And then 3 is the worst. Like 3 is so cheap and bad. And 2, I kind of surprisingly liked. Anyway, the last house, what is this? House at the end of the street. It's not the last house on the left. I'm pretty sure that's purposefully confusing. Then there is The Human Race. I've reviewed that one on my channel if you want to check it out. Then there's Husk, I Am Legend, I Know What You Did Last Summer, I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, and whatever the last one's called. I'll always know what you did last summer. These are not great, but I don't know. If you're into horror, you kind of want to have I Know What You Did Last Summer, you know? It's just your generic slasher kind of thing. Like, it's just fun. Then there's Identity. Then there's Inbred, which is kind of what it sounds like. Crazy hillbilly killer people. It's gross and over the top and silly and disgusting, and I like it though. It's good bad. Then there's Insanitarium. That's sort of similar. Then there's the Insidious movies, Insidious 1, Insidious 2, Insidious 3, and Insidious, can you believe it? Number 4. They're all fantastic. And along with Hereditary and The Conjuring, I do find those quite scary. Then I've got 2 copies of It, because one I got from the library for free, and it only has the second half of the movie. And then I bought it full price at a proper shop. But I've got both versions, and then there's the remake kind of version. I've only got the first one of the remake, because number 2 fucking sucks. Then there's The Last Exorcism, one of the best movies you'll see, with the worst ending. Then The Last House on the Left. This is the remake. Yeah, I'm not proud of all the remakes, okay, but I like remakes. People are too hard on remakes, to be honest. But I do feel bad every time I'm like, I've got a remake and I don't have the original, or I haven't even seen the original with some of them. Then there's Let Me In. Oh shit, that's another one. I haven't seen the original. Then there's Life After Beth, another great horror comedy type of thing. Very much like Fido in a way. Then there's Lights Out, super creative. David F. Sandberg is awesome with that movie. Then there's The Loft, The Loved Ones, Martyrs, fucked up. Be wary of watching this one. Like, ooh, I don't think I will watch this again, to be honest. I really don't. I think it would affect me negatively. Then there's Mother. Mother is one of the most uncomfortable cinema going experiences I ever had. It's not quite as effective at home, but I needed to own it. I mean, I absolutely love it. No One Lives, very fun. And then I've got this in horror, Nightmare Before Christmas. You know, I know it's not really a horror, but it's like, it kind of fits in, you know what I mean? And then there's P2, Panic Button. And then I've got the first 2 Paranormal Activities. I'm not really a fan of those movies. I find them really boring, to be honest. So I've only got the first 2. Perfect Getaway. Oh, just by the way, yeah, I didn't mention this earlier, but A. You'd think that this would start with A, right? But no, A, perfect. It starts with P. A and the, or, you know, I don't know. Is that it? Terms like those, whatever, however you describe them, those types of nouns or whatever, don't count when you're alphabetizing Titles. Is this common knowledge? I don't know. I worked at a video shop briefly, very briefly, and that's how we did it there, and that's how I've done it ever since. Then there's The Perfect Host. See, the starts with P though. The Perfect Host. That's really fun. And then there's Poltergeist. And then there's Prom Night, another remake. Not really a fan of that or whatever, but it's fine. Then there's Psycho. This is like a weird Asian version of it that I've got for some reason. I got this from my sister. I don't know. I think she bought this from Thailand. Let me know, Rach. She's not watching this. There's no way she's going to watch this. This goes for how long? Like, she's not watching this. And then I got two here. I kind of missed the alphabetizing with these two, but one missed call, notoriously terrible, and then Pain. I kind of have a... I'm kind of antagonistic between that movie. And then I got The Purge and The Purge Anarchy. I don't have The Purge Election for some reason. I should probably get it. But for some fucking reason, I do have The First Purge, which, if you know me and if you've watched this channel, I'm pretty sure I've mentioned it before. I fucking hate The First Purge. Not The First Purge, The First Purge. A Quiet Place is good. Red Ink, super fun, weird as fuck horror movie. Red Eye, genuinely really good, like tension and stuff is built up and everything. Cillian or Killian Murphy and what's her name? Rachel McAdams, right? Yeah, that's her name. Yeah, that one's like classy horror. Like it feels, I don't know, that one feels respectable. And then there's this, Arrest Stop, which I would not describe the same way. Then there's Roadkill, The Shallows, super fun shark movie. Sometimes I like shark movies, I guess. And then there's Shelter. My wife really likes this one. I'm not super into it, to be honest, but whatever. Then there's Shutter Island. Shutter Island, Shutter Island. It's good. Splinter and Split. This terrible movie and terrible cover. It's this take-home copy. Definitely got this cheap. It's just some weird video game horror movie called Stay Alive. It's not good, but when I see cheap shit, I buy cheap shit, alright? As you can see with this big sticker here too. $20 it apparently was at some point, but I got it for $3. I'm making money. I'm making money. And then there's Resident Evil Afterlife. Yep, that's the only one I own. Is that... I think that's the one set in the desert, maybe? I don't know. I like the Resident Evil movies, but that's the only one I own. Then there's Scream, and, you know, Scream 2 and 3 and 4. All the Screams. Absolutely love this series so much. I'm, like, nostalgic for it. And I studied the first Scream in high school. I think I already mentioned earlier. And it's just absolute perfection. I fucking love the Scream franchise, seriously. And then there's another infamous franchise in Saw. Got all the DVDs of that. I do wish I had these on Blu-ray. James Wan with the first one, amazing. Lee Wannell wrote a couple after that. And, you know, it kind of dips and weaves in quality. You know, it starts to get a little bit too focused on the torture. But really, I think these are mostly very underappreciated films that have so much story than they're given credit for. Like, there is a lot of fucking lore to these movies. And I know quite a bit about it. To be honest. Then there's The Shining, which, you know, is good, but I'm not absolutely in love with The Shining like everybody else is, but, you know, I'm not going to say anything bad about it. It's good. Then there's Shuttle. I don't even know. And then Silence of the Lambs, which, come on, fantastic. I don't know if it's a horror movie, but it kind of belongs with horror, you know? Alright, my last little individual pile here of horror. We're nearly done with horror. The Strangers, very, very, very effective. I rewatched it recently, and it's good. The Task, and then I got Chainsaw Massacre, that's the 2003 version, the remake. Then Chainsaw Massacre The Beginning, which is a prequel, and then Texas Chainsaw, which I think was called Texas Chainsaw 3D at one point. I think that one's a sequel. Who knows? I don't remember. Then there's The Thing, which is just a fucking classic. I should get that on Blu-ray. I love The Thing. Then Trespass, Nicolas Cage, you know, Does some weird movies you've never heard of. I kind of don't mind that one. Then there's Triangle, very, very creative. Another creative one that I don't want to say too much about, but yeah, boy, I recommend Triangle. Then Vacancy, and then The Visit, which is another kind of comedy horror type of thing. Shyamalan came back for that one. He was good for a bit, and then he's kind of dipped back to being bad when it comes to Glass. But whatever. The Voices, underrated Ryan Reynolds performance there. Super into it. And then the first, well, there's only two. The Wolf Creek movies, 1 and 2. Very disturbing, but very, well, at least the first one. The second one is a bit just silly, but if you haven't seen the first Wolf Creek and you're into like disturbing films, that's a must watch. And then I got a few of the Wrong Turn movies. Wrong Turn 5, Wrong Turn 3, and Wrong Turn 2. Just the ones that I like. There's a couple in between that aren't quite as good. Then there's Wrecked, Wormwood. Very fun cinema experience I had with Wormwood. This is an Australian comedy horror type of thing. It's cool. Then there's Your Next. Alright, now I've just got kind of a miscellaneous pile. These were ones that were either behind or I missed for some reason or whatever. So this is just a random kind of pile. From Paris with Love, Ray's Phone Booth, which is quite good. LOL. Don't know. I did not buy that one. 21, Rushmore. I'm not into Rushmore that much, to be honest. Then there's just a shitty 4-movie horror pack. I don't fucking know, man. Day of the Dead is on it. Yeah. I've never opened it. I've never watched that. Then there's Next. It's Nicolas Cage stuff. RV, Runaway Vacation. I'm super proud of that one. My wife, for some reason, likes that movie. Look, she has good taste. She likes a lot of the stuff I like. And then she likes RVing. Anyway, A Serious Man. The X. I don't know, just some comedy. Love and Honor. This is not very good, to be honest. Like I said, these aren't really my favorites. These were ones that were probably like behind other movies, so I could face my favorites. Lars and the Real Girl. Kung Fu Hustle, which is, ridiculous. Like, I don't hate all of these, but, a lot of them I don't, super love. And it's just another shitty 3-pack. I've got all of these individually now. Oh, maybe not Little Miss Sunshine. I might have already said if I did or not. 500 Days of Summer, Juno, and Little Miss Sunshine there. Then there's I Love You Man and Dinner for Schmucks again, which I already said. Stick It. Then there's Black Knight, about this guy going back to medieval times. Just some comedy thing. Stranger Than Fiction, pretty creative stuff. Drillbit Taylor, the forgotten film. Like, nobody even talks about this ever anymore. Then there's 8 Mile. The reason this was a behind movie is because it doesn't work. And I don't know why. It used to work. I think it got damaged. Yeah, I should get another copy of that. Then there's White Chicks and Little Man, which obviously I'm super proud of having these in my collection, right? I mean, straight up classics. Look, White Chicks I do kind of find funny. I'm not proud of it. It's a guilty pleasure, but fucking Little Man, I don't know. Then there's World War Z and Vehicle 19, a later Paul Walker movie that's kind of, it's not great, but it's alright. Abduction, really generic action movie. Blade 3, just 3. There'll be more coming from that in the superhero movies. For a reason. I've got the Blade trilogy with my superhero movies. And then I've got just another copy of Blade 3 just by itself. That's why it's in my miscellaneous pile. Then there's Oblivion, which I don't think I've watched all the way through. Then another pack, The Skeleton Key, The Return, and Dead Silence. Dead Silence is actually good. That's a James Wan movie. Then The Last Action Hero. I don't know why that was a behind movie. I like The Last Action Hero. Then I've got Transformers, the first Transformers. Death Race, which is not quite as fun and dumb as you would expect with this bullshit cover. Like, this should be fun, but it's weirdly boring. Then there's R.I.P.D., which isn't great, but I think it's underrated. I don't mind that movie. I used to have a poster of it in my room when I was a teenager for some reason. I don't feel that passionate about it, but just something I remembered. I don't know. And then Vantage Point. Okay, we're getting down to the home stretch. We're nearly done. Kind of. I got the last couple genres to go. Can you believe it? I don't know how long this video is at the moment while I'm shooting, but I imagine this is my longest video that I've ever made. So I'm pretty happy to be done because this has taken a long time. All the fucking organizing the genres, getting everything everywhere. Oh god, I can't imagine what it's going to be like to put all these movies back on the shelf. Ugh. Anyway, next up I've got the Harry Potter 8-film collection in this fancy box with all the individual movies. And, you know, it's pretty cool. I like how all the covers, they say like year 1 edition and stuff. Like, I like these. These are cool. I know we're not allowed to like Harry Potter anymore or whatever because J.K. Rowling is offensive, but I still like Harry Potter. I don't know. I don't care about J.K. Rowling. You know, if you've clicked off now, that's bad timing because now it's time for the superhero movies. Woo! I figured a lot of people are probably going to click onto the timestamp to see the superhero part. So get ready. Here we go. First, I've got this Avengers pack with 6 films. It's got the first 2 Iron Man movies. It's got Thor. It's got the Hulk and the first Captain America and the first Avengers. So that's pretty cool, but I would like to get all of them individually on Blu-ray just because it's cool to spread them apart. I love packs and then sometimes I don't. I can't make up my mind. If this had better art maybe, I would really love it, but it's just kind of like, it's fine. I don't know. I'm not sure. I also want them on Blu-ray, so yeah. Then there's the Avengers Age of Ultron, which is probably my favorite Avengers movie maybe. Don't kill me for saying that. Then Infinity War, and I've got Endgame on Blu-ray. Then there's Captain America, The Winter Soldier, which is fantastic. My favorite Marvel movie. Captain America Civil War. Thor The Dark World, which is trash. I'm not going to throw it. I don't want to throw my things. And then Iron Man 3, which is funny as hell and really good. People don't respect Iron Man 3. Guardians of the Galaxy 2. And then I got the first Ant-Man. I don't have the second Ant-Man yet. I probably should get it, but I don't know. Then Doctor Strange. And then the 2 MCU Spider-Man movies. Oh no, just the first one on DVD here. Homecoming on DVD. I've got Far From Home on Blu-ray. And then just getting into the Spider-Man movies, Into the Spider-Verse, which is just the best, probably one of the best animated films ever. And then this fancy boy case for the original Spider-Man trilogy, the Sam Raimi, Tobey Maguire one. This is my prized possession when it comes to my collection, pretty much. Like, this is it. This is my baby. Yeah. And then there's The Amazing Spider-Man and The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I think those are underrated. I particularly love the suit from The Amazing Spider-Man 2. And, you know, Emma Stone and Andrew Garfield together. I like those scenes. And maybe that's not what the best part of Spider-Man should be. But here we are. I liked them. And I thought they made for good movies. And Mark Webb is a good director. Then there is X-Men. The first X-Men. X-Men 2, which I got from a video shop, as it says action on the corner there. And then X-Men 3, ooh, 2-disc special edition, fancy boy. And then X-Men Origins Wolverine, which I kind of have a guilty pleasure type of thing going on with that one. X-Men First Class, definitely top 5, top 3 X-Men movies. The Wolverine, Days of Future Past, which is my favorite X-Men film. Yes, even more than Logan, because I think Logan is a better film and I love Logan more in general, but as an X-Men film, I think Days of Future Past represents what X-Men is about better than Logan, if that makes sense. But I mean, beyond that, come on, you can't beat Logan. Like, it's so goddamn good. That is, oh, I respect Logan so damn much. And then both the Deadpool movies, big Deadpool fan. Yeah. Okay, so those were the Marvel movies. Now we're getting into the DC movies. So first, I've just got like the stragglers in Green Lantern, which I actually haven't seen. I haven't seen Green Lantern. Then there's Watchmen, which, you know, is DC, but it's not part of any continuity, so I'm just putting it here. Then I got Man of Steel, which, you know, is pretty good. I think that's an underrated movie. And then Suicide Squad, which is not underrated or overrated. It's just not very good. Then Wonder Woman, you know, solid but terrible ending. I hate the ending of Wonder Woman. Justice League, Joker. Joker's great. I wish I had it on Blu-ray though. And then I got a bunch of Batman stuff, okay? So there's Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight Rises, the Nolan trilogy, all there, of course. And then I don't have any other live-action Batman movies, to be honest. I probably should. I should get some of the older ones, maybe. I got Batman vs. Superman on Blu-ray, but that one, that's not older, but yeah. And then I've got some animated stuff. So Son of Batman, new to weekly, according to the sticker on the front. Batman Year One, which is great. Superman / Batman Apocalypse. I remember that one being pretty good. I haven't watched it for quite a while. Justice League Doom, Assault on Arkham, and the very best of the best, Batman Under the Red Hood. If you are going to watch any animated Batman movie, watch Under the Red Hood. And no, I don't have Mask of the Phantasm, and no, I don't have... there's another one or two that are pretty damn good that I haven't actually got yet. I can't own everything, or at least I just haven't bought them yet. Okay? It's not always a I don't own it, it's a I don't own it yet. Then there's kind of this miscellaneous. Some of these are Marvel and stuff, but they're not in the MCU and stuff, so this is what I was talking about, the Blade trilogy. So, that, you know, that's kind of cool. And then there's Dread. I love Dread. Again, video shop copy with the stickers and shit on front, $2 weekly. And then the shitty 3-pack of Ghost Rider, Hellboy, The Punisher. I don't know. That was a Behind movie. Like, Behind. You know what I'm talking about. Then the Green Hornet. I like the Green Hornet, alright? Like, I don't know. And then I got both Kick-Ass movies, which kind of defined my taste back in the day, I feel like. Like, you know, funny, violent films, you know, that kind of thing. Yeah, Kick-Ass kind of started that venture off for me. Then there's the Ninja Turtles Michael Bay movie from 2014, I think. Have not watched it since 2014, but, you know, I imagine it's fine. And then these aren't movies. This one's a movie, sorry. Iron Man Extremis. I don't know. Which is like a pretty cool, fun animated movie, but it's not like your standard animation. It kind of looks like a motion comic. It's kind of interesting. I like the way it looks. Then this is a show. The rest of these are shows. And I'm not going to do all my TV shows because I also have shows on DVD. I'm not doing the entire collection of that. I'm just doing these because they have been up here on my top shelves in previous videos. So if anybody was like wanting to take a closer look and stuff, I'll just like, you know, show you which ones they are. So there's this season 1 of Ultimate Spider-Man, which is it's a kid's show, to be honest. It's a little bit childish, like a little too childish, but I do like it. I am kind of a fan. And then there's just a couple other random episodes from that show, which... I don't know. I got them cheap. It was kind of just cool to get. And then I've just got some random X-Men stuff. These are just kind of random episodes. This Avengers cartoon. Another X-Men one. This one... Is this one a movie? This one's a movie, right? Yeah. I used to like this when I was a kid. So this is... Yeah, this must be like an old copy or something. Just kind of a fun, cool Dr. Octopus thing. And then Spider-Man, the new, it's not new anymore, new animated series from 2003. Yeah, this is really cool. Neil Patrick Harris voices Spider-Man in this one. And it's my favorite of the Spider-Man animated series that there are. There's a couple of others that are out that I've seen that I like, but I don't have them on DVD. And then there's this Iron Man animated series, which I completely forgot about, even though it's been up there all this time. This one's about like this younger kind of Iron Man. But you know, it's cool. I like it. Again, with all these, they're all a little bit childish for me, to be honest. More than I would like them to be for my taste. But I mean, I do like them, and animation is cool and doesn't get enough respect. So yeah. Next up, I just got randomly, just all of them in any order. I got the Tarantino movies. So there's Django Unchained, Pulp Fiction. What else? Reservoir Dogs. Inglourious Bastards, which is his best film in my opinion. The Hateful Eight, which, look, I know, it's slow and long and boring, but no, not boring. Slow and long. But it's not boring. I think it's underrated. I think it's really good. And the both Kill Bill movies, which I think the first is better, to be honest. I don't have a couple. There's a couple missing. I don't have Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I wasn't the biggest fan of that. And I do have Death Proof somewhere. But I don't know where now. There's piles and piles of DVDs. I'm never going to find it. Just take my word for it. I have death proof somewhere. But also I kind of don't because it doesn't work anyway. It's just a case for behind again. Yeah. Love Tarantino. If you want to see my, more opinions of mine on him and each film, I did a ranking on my channel, and so I'll like link that or whatever. Check that out if you want. Okay, and now I'm up to the last shelf, the movies that go up there usually. These are that spot is reserved for like absolute favorites or just movies that I want to show off in my channel, like movies that I'm proud of liking, I guess, movies that I think show my good taste and shit. I don't know. Yeah, just the very best of the bunch, I feel like, in my opinion anyway. That's what usually goes on the top shelf, and yeah. So first off is 127 Hours. Fantastic film, so effective. Then there's 500 Days of Summer, which was my favorite film of all time when I was a teenager. I still absolutely love it. It's not my very favorite anymore, but it's very, very fun. It's very good. It's very... I don't know, it makes you think. It makes you think as well. Then there's About Time. Beautiful. That is a beautiful film. Then there's American History X, and then Arrival. Arrival is fantastic. Atonement is fantastic. I'm just going to say that about every single one of them. Bad Times at the El Royale, still in its packaging stuff. Haven't watched that one on DVD yet, but I have watched it twice. Then there's Brothers. Jake Gyllenhaal is my favourite actor, just by the way. You might see some Jake Gyllenhaal coming up soon. Then Camp X-Ray, and then Cargo. Very underrated Australian zombie movie. Australia, man, we make good zombie movies. Check them out. Then there's Catch Me If You Can. Clove Hitch Killer. Yeah, The Clove Hitch Killer is a recent film that it's really engaging. Like, you're not quite sure where it's going to go in some ways, and I'm really into it. Death Sentence, which I reviewed on my channel. Another one that I reviewed. Check that out if you want. Then there's Drive. Can't say a bad thing about Drive. Come on. District 9. Same goes with that. Like, these are just the movies that I respect just the most out of everything. And not everything that I own. Like, out of just about everything. I absolutely love every single one of these movies that I've just mentioned or that I'm about to mention. Eye in the Sky, it's a shitty cover, new to weekly, bulky case and all that kind of thing, but it's a good film. So then there's Fargo, then there's Fight Club. Come on, Fight Club's a classic. And then First Blood, it's the only Rambo film I have. The rest of them are just kind of dumb action stuff, but that first one, super underrated. I did a video on it, another one. The Founder. Please watch The Founder if you haven't seen it. Gone Girl, my favorite David Fincher film. Gran Torino, my favorite Clint Eastwood film. That being said, I haven't really seen that many. Hacksaw Ridge, one of my favorite war films. And I don't have some good ones, I don't have Saving Private Ryan and stuff. Like, there are some movies where you would think I should have it, and for some reason, I just don't. You should see my list. Like, there's so many movies that I want to buy that I just don't have at the moment. Yeah, I'm planning on building this up more and more. And, as time goes, like the other day, I've bought some movies last night, which are coming in the mail. That are, so this list is going to be kind of obsolete soon enough. As a collector, as a film fan, I'm always buying more, but as for now, this is my complete collection. So then there's Her. I got this one for I think I got this one for 50 cents or no, 5 cents, I think. There were a few that I got for 5 cents one day at this place called the Reject Shop. But there's nothing wrong with it. Like, it's not a shitty copy or anything. Like, it's fantastic. That was probably the best buy I've ever, bought. I think, yeah. Then there's The Hurt Locker. This is literally my fourth favorite film of all time, which is a weird opinion, I know, but I, Tonya, I could watch this just on repeat. Oh man, I love I, Tonya. I've watched it a few times. Then there's Inception, which I'm not as high on as everyone else, but you know, it's obviously pretty good. Then The Impossible, very heartfelt and emotionally impossible. Like, oh man, that's a sad one in some ways. Then there's John Wick. I mean, come on, instant classic, 2014. John Wick changed the game. But it's the only John Wick I have. I need the sequels. Then there's La La Land, one of my favorite films of all time. My second favorite film of all time, in fact. Then there's Limitless. Locke. Yes, Locke is just about Tom Hardy driving in a car and talking to people on the phone. And somehow, it's amazing. Then there's Lone Survivor. Then there's The Matrix. Then my favorite film of all time, Nightcrawler. I did a video essay on it on my channel. Check it out. And then Nocturnal Animals, which it almost rivals Nightcrawler in some ways, and some other films that are in my favorites. It's up there. Nocturnal Animals is definitely a very good movie. I would highly recommend it. Then there's No Escape and Only the Brave. No one ever talks about Only the Brave, and I think that's a real shame, because I think it's really, really good. Then there's Patriots Day. Similar with that, actually, to be honest. Patriots Day is a movie that even at the time, like, I didn't really hear much about it, but like, I saw it twice in cinemas. And then there's Prisoners. Again, some of the best performances I've ever seen. Jake Gyllenhaal again. He's my favorite actor. He's in some of my favorite movies. That's why he's my favorite actor. And also, he's amazing. Then there's The Revenant, which is like top 10 at least favorite movies. Room, not The Room, just Room. I don't have The Room, but maybe I should get The Room, just cause, you know. Then there's Rush. I hate that this has a stupid new to weekly sticker there, because fucking hell, I love Rush and that deserves better. Same goes with Snowpiercer with its stupid science fiction sticker up there. Southpaw, Jake Gyllenhaal again, amazing. And look, doesn't even look like Jake Gyllenhaal. Like, he really transforms in that movie. Like, it's amazing. Then Steve Jobs, and this actually has a pretty gross cover. I'm gonna swap that out. Good film though. Then there's Swiss Army Man, 3 Billboards, and The Town. Two Hands, underrated Australian movie. Fucking love it. It gets our culture so right. It's like this crime comedy thing. Early Heath Ledger thing. Rose Byrne's in it as well. And yeah, I really like this movie. It feels very much relevant to me. And I studied this one in school, and I'm pretty sure that's why I have this. I bought that DVD. That's the one that we had to buy for school. Then there's War Dogs, which is another movie that I really don't hear people talking about, and I think that that's kind of insane. Same goes with Wind River, which is one of the most respectful films. Like, I respect it so highly. It's written by the guy that wrote Sicario. And yeah, you can tell, like, it feels like Sicario in the snow. If you like Sicario, please watch Wind River. Then there's Whiplash. Whiplash. That is the last of the DVDs. I should have done it like that, shouldn't I? Oh well, it's too late. And that's it. That's the last of the DVDs. I've said them all. I said all the titles, and I said some opinions. That's what these videos are. I'll go through my Blu-rays real quick. You know, I might as well go through them while we're here. So there's Paddington 2. Haven't watched the actual copy of that yet, but that's a fun movie. Grand Budapest Hotel. Avatar, with a special weird cover thing. Atomic Blonde, still haven't watched that yet. Les Mis Rabales, don't know how to say it. Kath and Kim Dorella, the movie. Yep. Look, I've already done a Blu-ray collection video talking about all these before. So if you want more of my opinions on all these, check that video out. Another one that I'll link. Then there's The Strangers Pray at Night, which is legitimately a good film. Like, fuck you if you just think horror's bad and that's just a guilty pleasure, because it's not even a guilty pleasure. It's legitimately really good. Then there's The Avengers Endgame. You know, you need to own The Avengers Endgame, right? And then The Last Jedi, which... it's one of my favorite Star Wars. Maybe that makes me an idiot. I don't know. I'm glad I said it at the end of the video. It's too late. Haha, sucker. I like The Last Jedi and you've already watched the video. Then there's Spider-Man Far From Home, which I mentioned earlier. Ready or Not, Batman vs Superman, Us, which isn't as good as Get Out, but it's still pretty amazing. Jordan Peele, I can't wait to see what he does next. What is this? Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, the best one of those movies. Upgrade, one of my favorite films of all time. Upgrade, Lee Whannell, does amazingly with that. Beautiful Boy is next. Haven't watched this copy of the Blu-ray, but I have definitely seen the film and may or may not have cried. I didn't actually, to be honest, but it's one that's worth it. You know, it's very good. Timothée Chalamet is amazing in it. And Steve Carell, comedic actors doing serious stuff. I love it. You love to see it. And then the last movie that I'm going to mention is Parasite. Yep, Parasite is great. And that's all. That is my entire movie collection. Those are all my DVDs, over 750 titles. Thank you so much for watching if you have watched this whole thing, because I imagine this has gone for a very long time. This is my filming from when I emptied the shelves, and it's gone for 56 minutes, and I did other segments before that, so I imagine this is going to be quite a few, maybe hours long. So if you have watched that whole thing, that is astounding and amazing, and I hugely appreciate that. But even if you just skimmed through it, I appreciate that. Or, you know, I don't know, anything, everything, the subscribing, the commenting, the liking, and all that stuff. And do those things again now, please, for me, because you love me. Yeah. And just by the way, also, like, you know, I've got shows on DVD and stuff. I've got games and stuff, like video games and stuff, physical copies of that. Like, you know, physical media, I'm all about it. Like, if it wasn't obvious from all my previous videos with the shelves all full, and from this very video going through all these, if you ever want me to do like a game collection video or a show collection video, let me know, because, you know, I just might do it even if you don't. To be honest, I might do that. That's not going to be quite as big a job as this. It's going to be much less long than this. Like, it'll be a much shorter video if I do a games one or if I do a show one, because I don't have nearly as much of either of those as I do movies. Not at all. But yeah. And also, just lastly, just by the way, for anyone who's been asking for like a room tour type of thing, you're going to be very disappointed. Because, oh wow, it's going to be kind of dark. I'll turn the light around as well. Oh no. It is just a room, and I've got my laptop there. I got fucking blankets on there, and I got boxes there. Those are the new shelves in that box over there. Gonna make those new shelves soon. And then I got the tripod is too fucking long. I got 2 tripods over here. A bunch of the DVDs that I sorted over there and all that kind of stuff. This was a big job, and this room looks like a mess right now, so it's really not impressive. But even when it's not a mess like this, and I haven't done this massive job, like, it's just a house. It's not like this impressive nerd fucking den or something. I don't have like heaps of cool stuff everywhere, art all over the walls or something. Like, it's just a house. This is the cool part of the house. Just the shelves, at least usually, not at the moment, but yeah. So you can stop wondering, I guess. Okay, I'm gonna go now. Hey, so just time traveled a few days. This is what my shelves look like now. I just thought I'd show you, you know, kind of what it's gonna look like from now on. You know, if I don't change it again at some point between now and the next video, that is, anyway. Yeah, this will be what the new setup looks like and all that kind of stuff, and I'll do some footage of it and stuff. Yeah, I'm happy with it. So just, I don't know if you care, but again, if you're this far into this video, Jesus Christ, I'll just walk you through what I've done, I suppose. So instead of having him, you know, how I had him, I got him all like to the front here. So like, I don't know, hopefully that looks really good on camera, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, I'm happy with it. But that means I got a box full of like all the pop dolls and all the extra decorative bullshit I had on here. I just got a box full of them literally in the corner over there that I'm not quite sure what to do with just yet. I'm also getting more shelves in the mail, so I might reorganize some of these. But look, it's like color coded. I got Blu-rays in the corner there. I've still got like genres kind of, but like top shelf is like favorites, and then I got horror, and then superheroes here, and then, you know, it's still kind of in genres, but not exactly. Like this top shelf being favorites is a complete mess in terms of genre, but I'm fine with it because I want like favorites and stuff to be on display. But, you know, I got to get used to filming with it and everything like this, but should be good. Anyway, this is like way too long a video, so I'm just going to fucking like drop it right there. That's all good. But yeah, just for subscribers and all that kind of stuff, this is what I plan for it to look like for now. From now on, at least. That's all. Yep, I guess I already said them, but do the things. Like, comment, share, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. And if you got through this whole thing, thanks so much. That's crazy. This is going to be a bitch to edit. Yeah.